If there's one thing I've struggled with for the greater portion of my life, it is stopping myself from expecting the absolute worst case scenario regarding someone else. Regarding things in general, I feel like I'm generally very positive. Like I have an optimistic outlook on the future. I believe in myself. I have high self-worth for the most part. And I generally think things are always going to get better and that I can always achieve greater things. But when it comes to other people and when things are left not communicated, whether that's because they don't have the time right now, or just because we're more distant than usual, or just because I didn't get the full scope of what was happening, all the details, like that, just something wasn't communicated. I tend to, or I tended to, because I've gotten much better at this, expect kind of the worst case scenario that someone doesn't feel good about me. They have something against me. So an example of this is like when someone takes a long time to respond to a text and I feel like I'm getting weird vibes through their text messages. Maybe they're being a little bit shorter than usual. My brain automatically just defaults to, what did I do? What did I say? Like, I bet this person is talking about me to their friends and I must have said something weird and now our whole friendship's going to be weird. I'll give you like a specific example of this. It was a couple years ago. I heard of a party that my friend was throwing that he hadn't told everyone about yet through another friend. And I was like, oh, let me text him to make sure I'm invited. And I shot him a text, asked him what time the party will be, kind of just to see like, I mean, I kind of assumed I was invited as well because we were close friends. And a long time went by and I didn't get any response. So my brain immediately thought to itself, maybe this guy doesn't want me to come. Maybe this guy doesn't like me. Maybe he's fucking sending this message I just sent him in a secret group chat and the rest of my friends are laughing at me because I did something wrong. I'm constantly overthinking situations like that. And lo and behold, a few hours pass, or maybe it was like a day later, and he texted me the time that the party was to be. And right after he texts me, I just feel so stupid. It's like, how did my brain conjure up so many negative images of what other people could be doing to me? And why did I just immediately assume like this person doesn't like me just because they might have been busy and they couldn't respond right away? Like, why is that the thing my brain initially goes to? And I've done a lot of introspection on this and I've gotten much better at it. And I thought I'd share with you what I've learned personally about this behavior that doesn't really provide any benefits to your life. First thing you got to understand is something in your past likely created a strong desire for validation. Now, when we're younger, all of us want some validation. We want confirmation that our existence is an attribute to the world. It is a positive attribute to the world. We want to feel like it actually means something. And the way we usually do that, especially as a kid, when we don't have a lot of accolades, a lot of external accolades, and we just haven't created a bunch of accomplishments yet, is to seek it through other people near us, through our friends, through people telling us that we're cool or we like the same things as you. It's just like you want to fit in way more when you're a child, because how else do you justify your existence when you haven't really dug into the deep work of life yet? And if you had a lot of experiences, because our brain is a feedback machine, it tries to gather evidence about our egos and our identities, who we believe ourselves to be, through that external experience. If you had a lot of feedback in the form of getting ostracized, of people talking about you behind your back, or just not treating you as if they respect you very well, and that constantly happened, your brain was primed to assume that in the future, when people start mimicking the same behaviors as when you were a child, then it must be that they don't really like you that much, that something's wrong with you, and that you aren't worthy of love and attention. It is important to understand this, but Another thing you got to understand is it doesn't matter where or why or when it happened. What matters is that you understand it's a belief and that it can be changed. There's so many people, introspection to a point is good, but I feel like after a certain point, if you're just ruminating on, oh, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep feeling this way when someone is cold or has a slow response? And you keep coming to the same answers every single time and you're not really discovering anything new. It's like you're just kind of procrastinating the process of actually transforming that belief and doing something to change your brain's behavior. So don't get too caught up on that part. Just realize it's a belief and that it can be changed. And the second thing I realized is that it's kind of selfish. And this one kind of stings a bit. It doesn't feel good probably for me to say that to you, but I personally had to tell myself this, is that I was being kind of selfish. I immediately assume that people's slow response or their busyness, whatever, has something to do with me, as if they don't have their whole lives to attend to, as if they're not the center of their universe, or they're possibly taking care of someone else and they can't put all of their time and attention into you, especially if it's a friend. Like that's just unrealistic. And I'm thinking, oh, this is all about me. It's because they secretly don't want to respond to me. They secretly don't like me. Like it is a selfish point of view for sure. So ask yourself, do you really think their behaviors are always indicative of negative thoughts about you? In other words, like, is what they're doing, why, like, should it really be interpreted as, oh, they must not like you? Or are you just thinking about this from your point of view because everybody at least feels like they're at the center of their own universe and is thinking about themselves more than anyone else, and everybody else is thinking that same way? Like everybody is kind of prioritizing themselves or thinking about the world from their lens. Why do you think their world also revolves around you enough to the point where they're like secretly plotting against you or thinking about you all the time to the point where they would intentionally choose not to respond or be cold all the time? Now, I'm not saying that isn't possible, but so many times it gets revealed to me after the fact, after I ruminate, that this person had no negative feelings towards me and I was just overthinking the whole damn thing. And so that's when you really got to get into this mindset of like, is this really the case? What evidence do I have to prove that this person doesn't even like me? Is this evidence shaky? It probably is. And what might be a better explanation for their behaviors? When I ask that, try to get into a more logical state of mind. That's when my emotions start to settle a bit. They don't overtake me and I'm not overthinking everything. And I'm able to see the entire situation much more clearly. And the third thing you got to realize, if this behavior continues to come up, it means you probably got to make more time to make friends with yourself. Now, everybody needs social connection. I'm not going to tell you, oh, you don't need friends. You should be happy being alone all the time, because I think that's bullshit. I think we are wired to need some sort of social connection to feel like we exist. First off, I think other people validate our existence, and I kind of touched upon that. As a kid, you really need that. But I do think that without other people, life has little meaning. And so you do need social connection, but maybe you've been neglecting yourself to prioritize other people more than yourself. And that person that you wish was paying more attention to you might just be in a period of their life where they're prioritizing themselves more and they need more time to respond or need more time to like take care of something else. And maybe that's a sign that you should too, that you should focus on the aspects of your life that remind you of your worth or that give you some confirmation that you're worth a lot. And yes, every human has this internal self-worth. They have inherent self-worth. I think every human does. Just by being human and trying to fucking exist, which is pretty damn hard, is an achievement in and of itself, I think. But if you want to feel like you don't constantly need other people's validation and you constantly need other people to check in on you and be on top of everything between you two, then you've really got to give yourself more feedback to change those beliefs. Now, like I said, our brain is a feedback machine. It will start to try to focus on things in our environment that first prove the beliefs that are already instilled in you. So right now, it will probably default to, why are people looking at me this way? Why aren't people responding as quickly as possible? Why are they treating me this way? It must be because something's wrong with me. In order to change that, you've got to prove through evidence showing your brain that you are worth something, that you do have high self-worth without needing a ton of other people's validation all the time. And that is reflected through your actions, how you treat yourself. So what are you doing on a daily basis? Are you doing the things that prove to your brain that, oh, you actually love yourself or you actually like yourself? Do your actions reflect that belief? And go through all your actions in a day. And if you're struggling with this, it's possible that maybe you don't really feel that way and that you need more evidence, more confirmation, more feedback from your actions. Your daily actions are what make up you. They determine how you're going to feel about yourself. And if you don't already have that foundational belief of, I have a high self-worth, even if people choose to not like me or choose to be cold intentionally, then every time someone does this unintentionally, it's going to feel like the end of the world, and you're going to feel like you always did something wrong and you don't really know what it is just because you're you. Eventually, the more that you prove to yourself through your actions and you say, brain, look at what I'm doing here. I'm doing positive things for myself. I'm eating healthy. I'm deciding to go to bed earlier and get enough sleep because I want to take care of you. I'm deciding to not doom scroll for 8 hours a day. I'm deciding to create, do some sort of act of creation, engage in art, engage in something that requires a lot of progress and requires a lot of work consistently to get better at it. Then those negative thoughts that constantly come up when something like this happens will start to quell. And then, life starts to get a lot better in all aspects, not just your friends or someone kind of taking a long time to DM you back or whatever, or just their behavior is a little weird and you think it's because of you when you guys are hanging out. No, like, you won't immediately think those things as much, and as a result, you're going to have a better time also making friends and just staying friends with the people that are already in your life. I'll be touching upon this, transforming your beliefs, being better with other people and not just immediately defaulting to negative thoughts about yourself, in my novel that I'm writing. I just finished the first draft of my very first novel. It's about a 21-year-old who lives in the post-pandemic world that we're currently in, the present day, and he goes through a tragic loss and he develops the ability to see into a parallel reality. It combines psychology, philosophy, sci-fi, fantasy, just my love of all types of genres in reading and writing, and puts it into this book. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to get updates to make sure you catch it when it comes out, then you can go to my Substack, which is linked in the description, and you can subscribe to that. That's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, or if you've struggled with this too, and goodbye.